I'm Quack.
Hey, I'm Co.
I mean, she was at one point.
She's the and.
You're the and. Quack
and
Co.
Hey, we're here to, this is the channel that brings you everything in 10 minutes or less, something that neither of us are known for. We're talking about Zombicide Invader today and hitting on our best and worst elements of it. Now, for the caveat, I've only played Invader one time, just now, and I had an absolute blast.
Yep.
I've only played Invader once. I have played Black Plague and Season 2 and the Dead or Alive.
Yep. And I've played
everything.
I've played, well, not the originals, but I've played a lot of Zombicide, including a whole bunch of stuff. And Invader, I've probably played like 4 or 5 times.
And
cool.
Not the new one that's coming out.
Not the new one at all.
So, tossing it up in the air, Shira, what is the best thing about Zombicide and Invader specifically?
I like the theme about this.
Do we want to do general overview of what's going on here? What's the internal game?
You kill zombies, you try to survive and win. You usually have some objectives, missions to complete while you're dodging the zombies and throwing javelins.
It can be a cooperative game.
A cooperative game, every game has 6 survivors running around the board trying to, like you said, accomplish objectives, take out zombies. You roll dice, you have actions. Everyone has 3 actions, or then you can level up and get more actions. You utilize your specific actions, the way your characters can grow and develop in the game, and then you roll lots of dice and find weapons and roll more dice against the various Xenos, or zombies, depending on the game system.
Back to me.
Best.
I like the theme about this one a lot. I have played, I believe, most of the other Zombicides except for Green Horde, which we incorporate Green Horde into Black Plague.
Well, you've played all the classic themes. You've played modern,
Yep.
because Season 2 and the original are modern. You've played medieval.
Yep.
You've now played space, and you've played Cowboys.
Dead or Alive.
Yeah,
And
so
all
the
that's
themes.
left is Marvel. And so, I am just so excited about that one. I like this theme the best out of all of them so far. I like, theme-wise, the modern one was actually the highest in ranking. I liked how I could relate to all of the weapons and stuff. But the space, I feel like there was one character who looked like one of the...
I'm confused by your rule system.
What?
Because when we talk about Resident Evil, you're like, I don't like guns. I like them to be medieval. Except it's Zombicide. Then I like guns.
Resident Evil, I don't like the minis.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
That's my problem with Resident Evil. The minis are
Fantastic.
insane and amazing. They just need to be larger. But I like the theme about this one the best. That's my best. What's your bests?
Theme's your favorite thing? Okay,
Yes.
best. Sender.
For me, so it depends what the context of whether they're talking best within Zombicide or best in general. For me, the general concept of Zombicide, the best has always been just the fact that running around, rolling dice, taking out bad guys. This is a game where you feel like you're constantly doing things. You feel like you're slaughtering. You go back and forth between that aspect of I'm about to die because I'm surrounded by tons of Xeno zombies, whatever.
And
That, okay? Say hello to my little friend. You just
Yes,
mow
that-
them
that
down.
sound.
And then you have this, going to the theme point, you have this aspect of, we have these little fluttering moth Xenos, and I'm just like literally imagining Jesse just like shooting as they erupt in puffs of air with their wings splattering across the walls. It's a lot of fun in terms of giving you those options to do things. The theme-wise, in terms of Invader specifically, I don't know if there's anything specifically that I particularly love. I do like the robots in Invader. I like the system of outside versus inside and the balance there. But yeah, this is Zombicide.
Best parts of Zombicide and Invader overall for me is going to be the fact that throughout the course of my Zombicide gameplays, the cooperative element of it really matters. When we collectively level up, when we decide to take bonuses or kill creatures, when we escalate the game for everyone else in order to take a benefit ourselves.
Yeah.
And specifically to Invader, I had so much fun playing some of the characters with these epic weapons, with a whole variety of like powerful weapons that you can level up with slotting cards that go in, like energy packs or weapon packs or canister packs that make your flamethrower just explode in areas. And the robots are really cool. I already want to see how other modules start implementing the use of technology in the board itself. I like the fact that we can control things both where we are and as an AI like defense system just right out here outside. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
I feel like you also made internal stories for all of your characters and
I
had a
personally
huge
did.
narrative behind your 2 partners. And so I think that helped you. Also playing 2 characters at once instead of playing 1 character.
Yeah, I was watching the whole thing. Well, need to spoil my worst thing. Worst thing about Zombicide across the board is going to be when friends tell you to only play 1 character. Here's the thing. The best thing about this game is doing stuff with your characters. But because it's a cooperative game, you will have some that are bridged over to being support characters. We always see it. And playing 2 or 3 characters mitigate for that. It allows you to have really solid support characters while also having the characters that are doing fun things, like triggering a robot that's slaughtering everything down the hallway. It sets up a story, allows you to play as a squad or a team, and feel like you're involved across the board in the table. The worst thing is when you don't do that.
Yeah, I think I've played a lot of Zombicide, and there's always, because you're always playing with 6 characters, and there's always one character who ends up being just weaker than other people, not advancing, not doing things. And if you find yourself playing one character and that character, it's not a good time.
And the other worst thing that I've experienced, and I guess it's not Invader specific, but in a lot of the games, there is a degree of luck when it comes to searching through that item deck. I actually don't like the fact that I can't pick and choose to some degree what I'm hunting for. I might get a shotgun or a canister. I might get the thing that I need to win the game, or it might be 15 cards deep and there's actually no way for me to close out the end. And I don't love that. I wish there was a way to modulate or control for that a little bit more. Sender.
For me, I'm going to choose my worst specific to Invader and not the Zombicide genre, and that is the fact that I still have not lost a game of Invader. Invader,
that's also
and you've
specific
tried.
to the Zombicide genre because there's only one game that you lose at, really.
Well, Black Plague, but
Right.
I mean, a Black Plague. Oh yeah, that's true. You're right. Second edition also became.
Second
Yeah.
edition. Yeah.
I like Black Plague specifically because it's a game that I lose. Second edition, Invader, I just find that I don't lose in those games. I play the games, and even though I keep trying to modulate the difficulty, and one of the nice things about Zombicide is you can modulate those difficulty systems. But within Invader, within second edition, I just find that I keep trying, and I can't figure out a way to make the game hard enough where I really feel the tension. The balance I have is that you could potentially make it so difficult that you end up just losing to sheer luck and the way things come out. So I'm not yet convinced, and there's things we can still try, but I'm not yet convinced that Invader is difficult enough for me to hold my attention contrasted with other Zombicide games.
And the worst thing for you, Shira?
The worst thing for me is very similar to you. It didn't feel tight. Even managing my backpack and my stockpile, I felt like because I could slot things in underneath, I never felt like I was lacking. I had a ranged weapon in one hand, I had a melee weapon in one hand, whereas in Black Plague, I really have to cultivate one character to be the ranged character and one character to be the melee character.
Yeah.
They were both specialized equally, and it didn't have the tightness, additionally the hardness of like, there was only one moment where I was like, oh, are we in a crunch right now? Because we had a whole corridor of zombies, and then we just slaughtered them.
Puff, puff,
Yeah,
puff.
it was quite easy. I wish it lasted longer and allowed me more time to level up, because I also don't get to see these cool abilities.
That's another thing. In Invader, I've never seen the red abilities, because I've always won before it was relevant. In Black Plague, on the other hand, I usually die before it's relevant.
Either way, that's going to be our highs and lows. A little bit more general from both of us because we've played a wider breadth of Zombicide and less Invader, more specific and on the nose for you.
Yeah.
Let us know what else you'd like to see us cover and hit that subscribe button down below because we've kept this video, surprisingly enough, under 10 minutes.
Every time.
Like Oddall. And we don't exist. Don't tell your friends.
Good night.